This is Ashley with Watch Mojo, and today we're going to be counting down our picks for the top 20 anime opening songs. For this list, we'll be looking at the opening tracks in anime that deserve a spot on your music library of choice. Do you think these songs slap, or do they cause you to hit the skip button? Let us know in the comments, and as always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo, so head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which anime list you want to see next. Number 20, Hacking to the Gate, Steins Gate. One of the greatest sci-fi anime of all time demands an opening that can capture its intrinsic time-jumping essence. Thankfully, they did just that. Blending together a killer hard rock edge along with electronic interludes, the whole thing has this cold, robotic nature to it, and yet beneath the surface is practically seething, thanks to the strength of its percussion. Kind of like how, despite being presented as a series centered around calculations and physics, Okabe's ventures are very much about the human will and its ability to overcome scientific obstacles. Final grade? Kurisu out of 10. That's good, by the way. Number 19, Unravel, Tokyo Ghoul. While Kaneki's tale has always been a tragedy, the opening, for the most part, has a serene atmosphere to it, especially due to those heavenly vocals that hint at the fading innocence of the cast, at least until the shredding starts. From there, everything becomes far more intense, to the point where it all seems like it's about to shatter, in no small part to the vocals verging on the edge of screaming. Yet it still maintains its shape, balancing its duality like few could have hoped. Broken, yet beautiful. Number 18, Asterisk, Bleach. While certainly the least explosive and dramatic of this shonen's multitude of openings, it is by far and large the most recognizable of the batch, serving as the intro to what would become Ishigo's career as a substitute Shinigami. With a mellow rhythm along with the Japanese rap rock vibe we've come to love, this opening gives us flashes of the adventures ahead, while also keeping things surprisingly chill. Instead of watching the Gotei 13 go to war with hollows, we've got the Karakura crew rocking some slick outfits while the beat plays on, and it all works surprisingly well. Number 17, Period, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Every fan has got their favourite Elric song, each serving as its own musical tour de force while illustrating the next arc of the narrative with crystal precision. Given how we're all about that hype, we're naturally veering to the penultimate opening. You've got the entire cast battling against the homunculi just as the chorus reaches its peak, setting the stage for the anime's final payoff. Admit it, when that guitar kicked in just as Ed and Al faced off against Pride, your adrenaline spiked. Number 16, The Day, My Hero Academia. From fanboy to the hero of tomorrow, Deku's journey is the shonen underdog fantasy that we can't get enough of. Of course, every journey has to start somewhere, and what better way to kick things off than with this, highlighting Class 1A's origins, the bitter rivalry between Deku and Bakugo, as well as All Might symbolically handing the reins over to the next generation of heroes. The opening accomplishes all this with an upbeat edge that truly provides a sense of a new beginning, with something spectacular on the horizon. Number 15, History Maker, Yuri on Ice.
Can you hear my heartbeat, tired of feeling?
When focusing on a series that specializes in something as elegant, beautiful, and touching as this, you need an opening that perfectly encompasses its best elements. Needless to say, they nailed it here. This sequence is a flawless performance from a visual standpoint, as well as with its accompanying song. There's such a sense of triumph on display here, showcasing Yuri and Victor as they demonstrate their techniques on the ice. With such graceful movements and seamless transitions, it's no wonder it etched itself into everyone's ears. Number 14, Renai Circulation, Bakemonogatari. Quintessential Monogatari, that's the only way to describe this one. And by that, we mean the visuals are an absolute spectacle with rich detail, colour and brimming with imagination. It's also misleading as all hell. The sweet and playful vocals, the bounce of the musical arrangement, how cheerful Nadeko looks as she dominates the opening with her cuteness. Sorry to say, but the whole thing is a ruse, so it can blacken your soul when you get around to watching the anime later on. That being said, it's still seriously catchy. Number 13, Pegasus Fantasy, Saint Seiya. Holy Athena, those riffs are fire! While it might start off like something out of your average Super Sentai, things soon pick up. Just as we see Seiya and the rest of the Saints leap onto the screen and start strutting their stuff. We can only imagine what it was like for newcomers back then to have their minds blown as they watched a gaggle of galactic pretty boys start punching out monsters while the vocalist is yelling about Pegasi. Number 12, 99, Mob Psycho 100. Whoever said basic math couldn't make for a great song clearly has never met Mob and his choir. Sure, unless you know what to look out for, the visuals are a radiant mess of incomprehensible insanity, but that doesn't make the complete package any less awesome.
Everyone is lost vision, maybe you can't be what you want to be. You look or be, and as you need.
As the climb to the number 99 continues, everything else escalates with it. The swell of the electronic rock, the force of the vocals, all culminating in the musical equivalent of Mob going on one of his Esper rampages. Number 11, Ai o Torimodose, Fist of the North Star. Are you shocked? You will be after listening to this. It's as if the best action tropes of the 80s were all combined into one unapologetically macho track, complete with all the visuals you could want of Kenshiro ripping off his top with force alone. Is it cheesy? Absolutely. But it still serves as the perfect counterbalance to a series set in a nuclear wasteland filled with raiders and super-powered martial artists. It's the proud theme of one of anime's greatest OGs, so we've got to give it its due. Number 10, The Hero, One Punch Man. This song had so much power and weight behind it that it smashed the mainstream, kind of like Saitama himself. Light on the comedy and big on the action, the song explodes from the opening punch, bombarding us with incredible guitar work and hefty vocals. From there, it just keeps building and building. For every giant and impossible monster that Saitama smashes off screen, the song continues to escalate, all before reaching a climax so intense that it's probably the closest we'll get to feel like Boros did when he got wasted by that serious punch. Number 9, We Are, One Piece. Perpetuating that sense of adventure that dominated the earlier aspects of Luffy's pirate career, this opening is an excellent intro to the Straw Hat's voyage, highlighting the key players and the fantastical elements that could only have been conjured by Oda. All the while, the music merrily chugs along while spouting about the thrills of dreams, exploration, and getting into all kinds of crazy confrontations with your crew by your side. Set sail and give it another listen. Number 8, Colors, Code Geass. When you're overthrowing an empire, you only need 3 things: the threads, the squad, and the soundtrack. And wouldn't you know it, Zero has all 3. Despite being a series focusing on the rise of a revolutionary taking on the totalitarian rule of the corrupt elite, the opening has got some funk to it. You've got a parade of mecha, seemingly no end of waifus, some crazy lad capable of making miracles with his eyes, and all this other madness going on. Yet, the soundtrack is surprisingly victorious in its presentation. We're guessing Lelouch and his Geass had some words with flow. Number 7, Tank, Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam.
There's no way to describe this song other than cool. But not just any kind of cool, Spike Spiegel levels of cool. Strutting its stuff with a powerhouse jazz sound that is sure to cure anyone's real folk blues, the way that sax blasts out those notes is so top tier that it turns its lack of vocals into a strength. Decades on, and this one is still guaranteed to get fingers clicking, especially when it comes to those exquisite ending notes. Bring it on home, Bebop. Number 6, Guren No Yumiya, Attack on Titan. Bringing the hype like few can, blasting this track out inspired a whole generation of anime fans to pound their chests, grab some 3D maneuver gear, and go off to slay some titans. The distorted vocals combined with the operatic additions really grants the whole opening this huge sense of scale, which is probably handy when you're portraying a lone soldier zipping through the air to take on a monster the size of a city. Some say this song goes with anything, and we certainly don't disagree. Number 5, Duvet, Serial Experiments Lain.
And you don't seem to understand.
It's a rarity for a non-Japanese song to be used as the opening for an anime, but we're grateful that in this instance, this one made the cut, given how its soulful melody and dark undertones perfectly reflect Lain's own sinister reality. While the song certainly makes for a cheery listen the first time you spin it, the more you delve into Boa's lyrics, the sense of unraveling and paranoia starts to become clear, especially with the interjected scenes of Lain being broadcast through the wired. Number 4. Haruka Kanata, Naruto. Honestly, it seems like the Naruto franchise will continue to unleash new openings until the sun goes out. But for our buck, this one from the Shinobi's earlier years just about clinches it for the best of the bunch. The energy and pulsating beat of the music works marvelously, as the opening highlights each character in the most shonen way imaginable. Sure, the vocals get so wild near the end you think the guy's gone mad, but it still hits its mark and gets us more than a little fired up for the Chunin exams. Number 3. JoJo, Sonochi no Sadame, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Everyone's got their favourite JoJo opening, and while others might have a bit more swag, no one can deny that this was a hell of a way to kick off one of the most iconic anime franchises in recent memory. Jonathan Joestar's battle against Dio might have been a bit rough around the edges, but at least he had an opening that got your blood pumping, especially with the constantly building tempo, all leading up to that final JoJo. Seriously, was the vocalist channeling Hamon here? Number 2, Chala Head Chala, Dragon Ball Z. Now this is a classic. While we in the West got to indulge in Rock the Dragon, back over with Japan, the original had something a tad more on the electronic side. With a sick riff cutting right through its iconic chorus, this song is as much a part of the franchise as the Kamehameha and Krillin's death count. There's just such joy to be found in the opening seconds, as we see Goku spiraling onto the scene, the vocals resonating out like the voice of Kami. No wonder they keep bringing it back. Now before we reveal our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Kiseki no Umi, Record of the Lodoss War. A truly magnificent opening for even the most hardcore D&D fan. Ah yeah, Haikyul, spiking its way into the hearts and ears of fans everywhere. Voracity, Overlord, evil has never sounded so cool. Inferno, Fire Force, lit in more ways than one. Cayenne, Dororo, that drop will hit you harder than Hyakimaru's blades. Howling, the 7 Deadly Sins, will rock you like only Escanor can. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. A Cruel Angel's Thesis, Neon Genesis Evangelion. You have to wonder, was Shinji's refusal to get in the robot all due to it not having a speaker system, so he couldn't blast this song? Because if we had our own AV units, you can bet we'd have this track on loop while ripping angels a new hole. Digging into its angelic theme, the opening moments are reminiscent of a classical overture, at least until the beat drops. From there, the whole thing gives way to a non-stop barrage of unsubtle text and random shots of Ava 01 causing carnage. All the while, the song transcends into this groovy anthem that uplifts and excites you for the events ahead. Not if you're Shinji, of course. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.